So a couple of weeks ago, we spoke to Skinny Sabu about his socks and also to Nick Haralambos about socks as well. We thought, well, we've done socks, let's do shoes. We often hear about how South Africa's clothing and footwear businesses are failing to compete in particular with what's coming out of Asia. We associate quality with name brands outside of this country. This is Tonight. I'm Bruce Whitfield, and tonight I speak to two successful entrepreneurs who are making a killing, we hope, out of shoes. It's not Jimmy Shoes or Jimmy Choos. Even joining me is Carren Eda Rose Lamperini. She's the founder of the ER collection, and Sam Lin, the owner of Sam Star Shoes. Sam Lin, we'll talk to you in just a second about the magnificent array you have in front of you in Cape Town. But Carren, you've not ever studied shoe design.
I didn't. I studied accounting and finance. But you don't need to study shoe design to actually know fashion. You just need to know what feels comfortable and what fits.
Okay, how do you get into designing shoes for somebody who's really studied finance?
Well, I actually wear size 2.5, so I was looking for
I don't believe you. Put your foot on the table.
I can't do that, but I wear size 2.5, and that's how it started. I've got a very small foot.
My son who's 6 has got bigger feet than you, right?
Exactly. And I basically went to Italy at a shoe expo, and I was looking for someone to assist me to make shoes for myself, 2.5, because I could never find any shoes. Mm-hmm. I'm always shopping in the kiddie section, and I bumped into a gentleman by the name of Sergio Marenti. And he said that he'd collaborate with me, or initially he made me shoes, my types of styles and my type of shoes that were comfortable for me that I wanted, that I could never find.
Is Sergio Marenti a famous guy outside the Marenti family?
Well, he's an Italian shoe designer. It's not like a Jimmy Choos, but his shoes got featured in French Vogue, so I guess that's big. I think he's probably coming up, which is cool.
Now, when it comes to collaborating
Yes.
with somebody like this, how do you get into that sort of relationship? Clearly you build up a rapport. He says, hey, you've got an eye for this kind of thing. Let's build shoes together. Give me that flat, for example. Is that one that you collaborated on?
Yes, it is. It's from my first collection. I basically just told him of shoes
Give it to me. I'm sure
that I like.
Okay. I mean, it's lovely. It's
elegant.
Suede-y, elegant, lovely, nice.
Handmade.
Gold detail, nice heel on it as well. Is that all your own work?
Well, I told him of a flat, and then I wasn't really interested in putting the heel, but he said elegance always has a bit of a heel, even if it's, a little centimeter. So he put the heel on. But we collaborated in the sense of the coloring, the material to use. I wanted to go all leather, and he's like, let's not. I've been doing this for a long time. Rather do suede, that goes better with a taffetal type of flower. So he assisted me in that sense, because I was a bit too adventurous, and I didn't know anything about mixing materials and what type of heel.
What's wrong with being adventurous? Surely adventure is what it's all about. Otherwise, you end up in a sea of same, don't you?
Yes, but it's always good to be safer and, let's say, classic when you do your first line, because then that way you do things correct and people tend to like it and you learn what people like, versus being too adventurous. My second collection is very adventurous. I did undercut heels, and clients were a bit like, I can't really walk in these. So that's why I appreciated the fact that they actually collaborated with me.
There we go.
I learned a lot.
That's part of the story that we've got for you this evening with Carren Lamperini. In Cape Town, Sam Lin, the owner of Sam Star Shoes. Take us through what you've got in front of you there this evening, Sam.
Hi, Bruce. Thanks for having me here in Cape Town. Yes, I have here my current summer collection. We have the court shoes, which is like the timeless court shoes. I've got this, which is more perforated. It's like more sports deluxe vibe, as well as the white shoes, but not just plain white shoes. There's detail, like 3D effect on the shoes, and beautiful perspex with leather, which is quite flashing, as well as the mint green and beautiful orange core shoes.
Sam, I love the fashion lesson. It's very good. Is that all your own work? Is that all your own design?
Yes, that's all my own design. I actually researched like 8 months in advance for this summer. So I did this like literally 10 months ago or a year ago to do the design. And in front of me are the collaboration between me and editor of Marie Claire and Sharon, and Aspasia and Sharon from Marie Claire magazine. These are the collaboration design for summer 2014. And I heard you guys talking about collaboration. This is a beautiful limited edition we've done between me and the editor and the fashion director, which is being well received by the customer because it's quite interesting and quite unique. And these are my summer collection for current, and we got every single difference for different occasion, for casual to smart, Oh, also on my left-hand side is my winter collection.
Okay,
for 2015.
let's skip a little bit of the fashion if you don't mind, Sam. We'll put you on a fashion TV for that. Give me a sense of the business, though, of designing the shoes. How do you get into collaboration with the editor of Marie Claire magazine? What's the synergy there?
I've known them for about 5 years now. I mean, Sam Star is turning 5 next year. So we've been knowing each other. I've been sending the shoes for them to do the shoots for the magazine. So we got to know each other quite well. And they love shoes. They love my Sam Star shoes. And so they've been quite a big supporter. And we were talking about for years, let's do a collaboration, but since we all like shoes. So like this, a couple of months ago, we decided to say, why don't we do a wedge? I think most like Sharon's from Marie Claire's idea to do a beautiful wedge for summer, and we just do different color. This is actually called Betty, and this is called Veronica. So it's Betty and Veronica. This is like 60s styles, which is quite in for next year.
It's very Archie and Jughead. It most certainly is. Betty and Veronica from the cartoon. You guys are too young to remember Archie comics. I tell you what, Carren, when we look at the business of shoes, there's no business like shoe business.
Yes.
People will spend money on shoes. Sam, I'm talking to Carren. Don't be rude. Don't interrupt. When it comes to the size of the South African shoe industry, you're competing against cheaper imports from all over the world.
Yes.
You've manufactured this line in Italy. You're manufacturing in Brazil as well. How do you compete on design and knockoffs from Asia?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, most of my clients prefer quality. My shoes are handcrafted, limited edition, only 13 sizes cut of each shoe style. And at the end of the day, my clients prefer quality, that if their foot isn't something, it's not going to hurt because it's too high. And mostly with Asian shoes, the quality tends to be a bit different. So your foot's going to hurt, most likely the heel will fall off. So it just depends what your clientele are into.
What do you retail these shoes at?
On average, 2.2, but
2,200 Rand for a pair of shoes?
Absolutely, it's handcrafted. You're not going to see anybody else wearing these shoes, Bruce.
Okay.
So
No, well, that's because
nice.
they can't afford them.
Well, no, of course you can afford them. Well, even if you can't, we've got a 30% sale going on now for the month of November. So check out ercollection.co.za.
Yeah, there we go. She's got a sales plug-in. Sam, where are you manufacturing?
Okay, we designed them in South Africa, but because since there's no footwear industry in South Africa, I think Carren knows that. So currently, our shoes are made in China at this moment, but we don't just use like any factories in China. We actually hand select the good factory that do only leather selection, and we only do less process to go through doing production in China, basically.
What do you make of Carren's comments on quality from Asia?
Number one is quality. It could cost 50 Rand, 100 Rand more, but the quality is my number one concern because this is my name on the line, it's my brand. It's my face, my brand. So basically, the quality is my number one process. So we actually have a QC based in China to go through the process from step one to shipping to this country. So it's from the beginning to the end, we have to make sure every single process and the quality is up to my standard, so then we don't have a problem in South Africa.
Okay, to Carren now in Johannesburg. When it comes to distribution, does Sam have an advantage? He's collaborated with the editor of a fashion magazine. There's a potential conflict of interest in that particular thing because now the fashion editor has got to promote Sam's shoes. Do you find it hard to break into the fashion pages?
I've been on probably every single page as well, Gracia, you name it. But collaborating, I'm sure, is definitely a nice factor. But for me, I mean, collaborating with the Italian designer, at the end of the day, Italian shoes speak way louder than any Asian shoe could ever. So
we're getting all xenophobic on our shoes over
no,
here,
we're not. But I also collaborate with bloggers who have a lot of followers. They wear a lot of my shoes.
How do sales work? How do shoe sales work? Because when one watches the Oscars ceremony and this is Donatella, darling, and this is that, I get bored of that sort of discussion. But you are competing against global brands.
Yes.
And if Donatella Versace has designed a pair of shoes, does Donatella design shoes?
No, she's just a household brain. After a while, you don't design. You get designers to design.
Okay, but the name is there.
Yes.
Do they do shoes?
They do.
Okay, good. So if you put a pair of your shoes next to her shoes and somebody is buying shoes for snob value, not necessarily style, how do you compete on the brand stakes?
Well, obviously my brand is still young. I'm still growing. It's a South African, well, it's made by South Africans. So we're trying to push the proudly South African. And in time, I actually want to have a factory that's in South Africa.
Can you be proudly South African if you're manufacturing in Brazil?
Well, I said I design. We don't have factories, obviously, as Sam said, in South Africa. A few in Durban, but mostly for flats. But the quality is just not the same.
Why not?
I don't know. Italian quality versus South African quality is just not there. It really
is it a raw materials thing, or is it a
craftsmanship?
So it's the craftsmanship, it's the skills that we don't have.
Yeah, it's not where it should be, but it probably will take time, 5 to 10 years. You probably have to send, you have to have maybe 10 designers or 10 people that can manufacture, go to an Italian school and stay there for 4 years and actually work in a factory and try to learn how to do it. I mean, Sergio had been doing shoes for over 40 years. You don't get that quality in 10 years
no,
or
absolutely,
1 year.
and it's one of the great tragedies. Sam Lynn in Cape Town, have you got any ambitions to manufacture in South Africa, or is China working for you okay?
I would love to do that one day, so I can basically be more close to the production process. But again, like Carren said, the industry doesn't exist. From the raw material to the craftsmanship, and also the complication of fashion shoes, it doesn't exist in South Africa, unfortunately, at this point. But hopefully in the future, but it will take about at least 5 to 10 years time because it's quite a detailed, complicated process to go through to make a shoes, actually. So hopefully one day we will have a footwear manufacturing industry in South Africa.
There we go. We got men's shoes being made. I mean, Green Cross makes shoes in the Cape Flats, don't they, Carren? I mean, there is a basis here,
yes,
but that's mass market stuff. It's not design.
Well, mass market, but if you look at Green Cross shoes, they're not really this fashionable or this fancy. And the nice thing about ER Collection, we also design up to size 2.5, as well as a big size 9 for women. So women who have small feet or struggle to find bigger sizes, we also cater to them.
There we go. What a fascinating insight into the world of shoe manufacture. Carren Eda Rose Lamperini, founder of the ER Collection, and Sam Lynn, the owner of Sam Star Shoes, who's been in Cape Town for us this evening. Thanks for joining us, and thank you for watching. There'll be more tonight, tomorrow. Good night, goodbye. And I want to see, why have those shoes not got ends on them?
It's called a peep toe. It's a type of style.
Yeah, whatever. Come on.